It has been 2 years since NASA's James Webb Telescope gave us a stunning first look at the depths of our universe. The world first started seeing spectacular images of the cosmos that were captured by the powerful James Webb Telescope 3 years ago. NASA's James Webb Telescope gave us a breathtaking look into the very deepest parts of the universe. There have always been mysteries in the world, but what the James Webb Space Telescope just found is beyond our wildest dreams. The new pictures that have been sent back from the farthest reaches of space are both beautiful and very scary. Get ready to go on an adventure into the unknown as we show you the scary new pictures that the James Webb Telescope has taken. What mysteries of the universe have we found? What does this mean for how we think about the universe? Let's look into these new finds that have never been seen before and look into the strange things happening in space that are shocking and frightening scientists. Scientists and researchers have been excited about the James Webb Telescope ever since it was first put into service. Even though it's only been in use for 3 years, it has already seen many things in our very large universe and found new things. Since it got to its faraway star, the infrared telescope has given scientists and astronomers stunning views of the universe. Researchers were very excited to see the first scientific pictures taken by the telescope, which was the biggest and most powerful space telescope ever built. The scientific community is shocked and quiet about its most current picture, though. This amazing find was made by the JWST when it pointed its tools at the famous pillars of creation, which are about 7,000 light-years away in the constellation Serpens. Since then, experts have been amazed by what it has found in this mysterious place. The Eagle Nebula is made up of the pillars of creation. The Hubble Space Telescope took the first picture of this large cloud of gas and dust in 1995, but the new picture from the James Webb Telescope showed even more amazing details. Stars that weren't visible in the Hubble picture sparkled in it, and some of them were formed only a few 100,000 years ago. Despite the fact that scientists were amazed by their amazing discoveries, they couldn't help but think, what if these buildings were actually built by intelligent beings from other planets? Could they be alien landmarks? The thought of such a reveal happening gave them chills, but the JWST wasn't going to put its feet up just yet. With yet another stunning picture, the James Webb Space Telescope looked at Pandora's cluster, an area of space with an interesting past that was named after the Greek goddess Pandora. Pandora was known for being very curious, and it is thought that she opened a box that let all the bad things and problems into the world. But Webb's study of Pandora's cluster did not let any bad things happen. Instead, it focused on a certain area of space using a theory that Albert Einstein came up with in 1915. This produced an amazing picture that shocked scientists. This new picture of Pandora's cluster, which used to be called Able 2744, showed features in the area that had not been seen before. The Hubble Space Telescope had only looked at the center of this space, but the James Webb Telescope's infrared instruments showed a lot of hidden information that still needs to be figured out. The scientists who worked on the JWST quickly understood that they were on a very special mission to observe things. As part of the ultra-deep near-cam observations for the Epoch of Reionization program, they used Webb's large telescope's near-infrared spectrograph and near-infrared camera to make a set of careful observations that gave them a full picture of Pandora's cluster. The team used the JWST to take 4 pictures of the area and then carefully put them all together to make a stunning panoramic picture. This amazing picture showed an incredible 50,000 sources giving off infrared light, showing what Pandora's cluster, which is about 3.5 billion light-years away, is really like. This panoramic picture gave us a wide and deep view that could fundamentally change how we think about how galaxies evolved. A bright star from our own Milky Way galaxy was visible in the middle of this beautiful picture. The star showed unique diffraction spikes, a beautiful image made by the James Webb Telescope. Clusters of bright white light shimmered in this beautiful scene, surrounded by an ethereal haze. These were the galaxies of Pandora's cluster, which were much farther away than the star in the center. Our very advanced technology was very helpful in recording this beautiful view of the sky, but astronomers also used a natural event that Albert Einstein talked about in his groundbreaking work on general relativity in 1915. This theory of gravity, called general relativity, was very helpful in figuring out what the observed cluster of clusters was all about. But this was just the start. In addition to the amazing finding, the James Webb Telescope saw something else that very nearly defies all scientific explanation. It found yet another interesting picture that clearly showed a set of strange concentric rings surrounding a star far away. Scientists from all over the world have been confused ever since this picture came to Earth. A citizen scientist named Judy Schmidt posted this mysterious picture on Twitter, which quickly sparked a flood of comments and confusion in the online community. The star in question, WR140, was ringed by regular circles that looked like ripples and slowly faded away into the infinite black hole. But what caught people's attention most about the picture was that the circles weren't perfectly round. Instead, they looked a bit like squares, which led to ideas and guesses about possible alien origins. Along with Schmidt, scientists and observers from all over the world soon found themselves thinking about how strange the ring's shape and pattern were. Soon, another space expert, Mark Mogan, called the feature crazy on Twitter. Mogan is a generalist scientist in the JWST Science Working Group and a science advisor to the European Space Agency. However, more research showed that the six-pointed blue structure was just a mistake caused by the bright star WR-140. Diffraculators were surprised by these shells, which looked like red curved and boxy shapes. Young stars usually shine brightly and are a bright blue color. As stars get older, though, they change and become redder as they cool down and use up their fuel. Webb saw fiery dots in the deep fields that were 50 times denser than galaxies that were known at the time. Surprisingly, these galaxies were thought to be as big as the Milky Way when the universe was only 3% as old as it is now. One of the astronomers looking into these results, Leah, said she was amazed by what she had found. She thought that the speed with which these huge galaxies formed after the Big Bang called into question current ideas about the universe. But astronomers had to make sure that the red dots they saw were really galaxies before they could completely change their ideas regarding them. Leah thought of other possible reasons and thought that stars in the early universe might have given off light in strange ways because they didn't have any heavy elements. Adding these things to their models could completely change how we think about how stars formed in the early universe. Astronomers are very excited about these options because they could give them new information about how stars are born. For the Cosmic Evolution Early Release Science program, Webb's near-infrared camera was used to take the pictures. Soon, astronomers will focus the telescope's mirror on these galaxies again, but this time they will do it to get light spectra. NASA scientists think that the spectra will help them figure out what the light sources are made of chemically and physically. It is also believed that these spectra will be very important for figuring out the exact distances to objects in space, which will tell us a lot about what those objects are. What's even more interesting is that scientists had to change their ideas about how the universe began just over 6 months after the first observations from the Webb telescope were made public. It turned out that the JWST was about to make another amazing find. Scientists looked more closely at the picture and saw what looked like a spinning wormhole inside a beautiful phantom galaxy. The phantom galaxy, also called NGC 628 or Messier 74, was shown in this new picture with its mysterious glow. The famous scientist Judy Schmidt carefully made this creepy picture with Webb's mid-infrared instrument, which is located nearly 1 million miles from Earth. It is called the perfect spiral because of how perfectly it is symmetrical, and the magnified picture brings out the details of the galaxy's dust lanes. But what really interests scientists is the idea that there is an intermediate mass black hole at the center of this cosmic wonder. A lot of professional photographers have taken pictures of this galaxy before, including from the Hubble Space Telescope and the Wide Field Infrared Survey Explorer, but Webb's pictures really stand out because they focus on the mid-infrared range and show off the cosmic dust that is inside the galaxy. NASA astronomers say that Webb's unmatched power, along with its unique 18-segment hexagonal mirror and smart location in deep space, is what makes this picture so detailed. Scientists were still trying to figure out what was going on in the phantom galaxy when the James Webb Space Telescope saw something else very strange during its first round of observations. Webb found huge, faraway galaxies that were not what was expected, nearly as big as our own Milky Way. These galaxies were full of adult red stars spread out across the universe, but telescopes could only see them as tiny reddish dots. Astronomers thought they were seeing the universe in its early stages, just 500 to 700 million years after the Big Bang, by looking closely at the light these galaxies gave off. It's not a surprise that these early galaxies exist. Astronomers thought that the first star groups would form soon after the universe came out of its dark ages, a time when hydrogen atoms were very dense. But the galaxies found in Webb's pictures have made scientists very excited because of how big and old they are. These results go against what we thought we knew about how the early universe looked and how it changed over time. They also go against what the Hubble Space Telescope had seen before. A respected astronomy and astrophysics professor at Penn State named Joe Lea said that the team had thought they would find young, small galaxies in the early universe because of work done with Hubble and other tools in the past. These baby galaxies were brand new things that came from the primordial cosmic soup and worked hard to build their first stars and structures. The unexpected discovery of galaxies that are bigger and older challenges what people thought they knew and opens up exciting new study paths. This beautiful picture taken by the JWST shows the amazing process of stars forming in the early days of the universe. Scientists and researchers are still amazed by the amazing things they see happening in space because of how fiery and active this event is. Like these beautiful stars, the JWST took another stunning picture of a cosmic hourglass around a young star in the star-forming area of Taurus. This beautiful scene could only be seen in infrared light because of L1527, a dense cloud of gas and dust that blocked out normal telescopes. The cosmic hourglass became an interesting thing for Webb's near-infrared camera to look at. Scientists are still not sure what this discovery means, but they see it as a chance to do more study. They think that studying the cosmic hourglass will help them understand what's going on around the secret protostar. The findings may also help us understand how young stars grow up, according to the Space Telescope Science Institute in Maryland, which runs the JWST. This is a big step forward for science. Also, scientists can now see Neptune's rings and moons better than they have in 32 years, thanks to the JWST. With its most recent picture, the JWST sent as much information as earlier cameras. The faint dusty bands of Neptune's icy rings can be seen for the first time since the Voyager 2 probe flew past it on its way out of the solar system in 1989. Heidi Hamel, a planetary scientist at the Association of Universities for Research in Astronomy, was thrilled to see these markings for the first time in infrared light. Scientists were even more shocked when they found new rings around Neptune that had never been seen before. These tiny dust rings weren't seen by Voyager 2 when it got very close to the planet. The JWST's picture showed us rings we didn't know about before, which helped us learn more about Neptune's ring system. The picture taken by the JWST did not show the blue color that is usually linked with Neptune. The JWST looked at Neptune in near-infrared light, so the lack of blue was on purpose. The methane in Neptune's atmosphere strongly blocks light at these wavelengths. This makes the planet look mostly dark to the JWST, except where bright clouds are high in the sky. A number of bright spots in the planet's southern hemisphere were another interesting thing to see in the JWST picture of Neptune. High-altitude clouds make these spots, which reflect sunlight before the methane in the clouds soaks it up. This picture also shows interesting and previously unseen facts about Neptune, like a clear band of clouds at high latitudes surrounding a well-known vortex in Neptune's atmosphere. A thin line of light also went around the planet's equator, showing how Neptune's atmosphere moves around the whole planet, bringing winds and storms across the icy giant. The JWST was able to find an interesting light near Neptune's northern pole, even though it was almost 1.5 million kilometers away from Earth. This was a surprise because Neptune's northern pole was just out of view from the JWST's point of view at this point in its orbit around the Sun. This shows how powerful the camera is. 7 of Neptune's moons could also be seen in the JWST pictures, with Triton, the biggest moon, getting extra attention. Triton stood out against Neptune's dark methane atmosphere as a bright point of light. It was bright because a layer of frozen condensed nitrogen covered its surface. This layer makes it reflect about 70% of the sunlight it gets. Triton orbits Neptune 30 times farther from the Sun than Earth does. This makes it a pretty close friend in the sky. Neptune may seem far away, but it is only a cosmic stone's throw from the stars and galaxies that the JWST is meant to study, which are billions of light-years away. This makes the telescope's job clear: to look into the farthest parts of the universe while also teaching us useful things about our own solar system. Along with a picture of Neptune, the JWST also took a picture of the Tarantula Nebula that is truly amazing. Using its high-resolution infrared equipment, the telescope showed that this stellar nursery was home to thousands of young stars. Scientists were shocked to see these stars for the first time. Due to its high efficiency, the JWST was also able to find gas, dust, and even faraway background galaxies in the nebula. The telescope showed the Tarantula Nebula, which is also called 30 Doradus, in great detail. It looked like the silk-lined nest of a tarantula. It is 161,000 light-years away in the Large Magellanic Cloud and the largest star-forming region closest to our Milky Way. Astronomers are interested in it because it helps them figure out how stars are made. More interest in Webb's views of Titan, one of Saturn's strange moons, led to amazing discoveries. Titan is a planet that looks a lot like Earth. It has icy land masses and rivers and seas that are full of liquid methane and fuels. The moon's atmosphere is thick and hazy, with methane clouds floating above it. Scientists were surprised by what the JWST saw when it saw 2 of these methane clouds. Since then, many scientists have spoken out about how interested they are in the interesting glimpses of bright and dark places on Titan's surface. Astronomer Connor Nixon at the Goddard Space Flight Center in Maryland set up the JWST to study Titan for 15 hours a day during its first year. This was another groundbreaking effort. Nixon's team wanted to look into Titan's atmosphere in particular to map out where the haze was and find new gases. Besides that, they had other goals in mind. Scientists were thrilled when they got the data that the JWST sent. When they first looked at the results, they were truly amazing. Not one but two clouds were found by the experts as they looked more closely at the data. It was interesting that one of the clouds was above Kraken Mare, Titan's biggest sea. The team was excited about these findings and wanted to keep an eye on the clouds to see how they changed over time. But these scientists aren't done looking into what they've seen yet. The clouds and pictures taken by the JWST's near-infrared camera have been identified, which lets them separate Titan's lower atmosphere. The camera and another tool called the near-infrared spectrograph have given them more information that they need to look over. This spectrograph counts the number of different wavelengths of light that bounce off Titan's atmosphere. This helps scientists figure out what chemicals are there, like the bright spot over the moon's south pole. It is now planned that the JWST will look at Titan again in June 2023. This time, it will use its mid-infrared instrument to help scientists learn more about the chemicals that make up Titan's unique and hazy atmosphere. We are completely blown away by the James Webb Telescope's pictures, and scientists are sure that this amazing telescope has the potential to find many new and exciting things in the vastness of space. As we look further into space, the James Webb Telescope promises to reveal secrets that have eluded us for hundreds of years, letting us access areas of knowledge that have been locked away until now.